The Galactic Empire didn't just fire on a medical ship. They fired on a symbol. On peace. On mercy. And Earth responded not with words but with thunder. For 50 years, the U.S. Nightingale had been humanity's promise to the galaxy. A massive medical vessel painted white with the ancient Red Cross, traveling to disaster zones, plague worlds, and war-torn systems. No weapons, no shields, just doctors, medicine, and hope. The Galactic Empire had watched with calculated disdain. To them, Earth's insistence on sending medical aid to their enemies was weakness. Humanity's refusal to militarize after joining the galactic community was proof of their insignificance. Soft, Emperor Kaler had called them. A species that heals rather than conquers has no place in the new order. So when the Nightingale entered disputed space to aid refugees from the Empire's latest expansion, Kaler gave the order personally. Destroy it. Let the galaxy see what happens to those who defy Imperial boundaries. The antimatter torpedoes tore through the Nightingale's hull in seconds. 8,000 medical personnel, 40,000 patients, 200,000 doses of vaccines for a plague the Empire had unleashed. All of it vaporized in nuclear fire. The Empire broadcast the destruction across every channel. A warning, a message. They expected Earth to protest, to file complaints with the Galactic Council, to send more medical ships in defiant, useless compassion. They didn't expect the signal. Deep beneath Earth's oceans, in bunkers sealed for a century, ancient systems stirred. Lights flickered on control panels untouched since humanity's last great war, the one that had nearly ended them, the one that made them choose medicine over military. The Titans were waking. Admiral Sarah Chan stood in Earth's military command, a facility most humans didn't even know existed. The screens before her showed impossible readings. "Confirm those signatures," she ordered, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Confirmed, Admiral. All 7 Titan-class warships are responding to the activation protocol. Power cores online. Weapons systems operational. The Titans, Earth's darkest legacy. Ships so devastating that humanity had buried them rather than risk using them again. Planet crackers, star killers. The weapons that had ended Earth's final war by making war itself unthinkable. They thought we were soft. They forgot what we buried," Chun said quietly. Her aide stepped forward. "Admiral, the Council will. The Council can watch. The Empire fired on healers. On children. On hope itself." She turned to face her staff. "Wake them all." Across Earth's oceans, 7 mountains moved. What satellites had mapped as underwater ridges revealed themselves as dormant giants. The Titans rose from their century-long slumber, water cascading from hulls that seemed to absorb light itself. The Ragnarok, the Götterdämmerung, the Armageddon, names from Earth's darkest myths, given form in metal and antimatter. "This isn't revenge. It's balance," Chen announced to her crews. "We offered the galaxy our healers. They chose our warriors." The Empire's border defenses detected the incoming ships and laughed. 7 vessels against the 1,000-ship Imperial fleet? It was suicide. Then the first Titan fired. The weapon was subtle, no dramatic laser beam or missile swarm. Just a ripple in space-time that propagated outward at light speed. When it reached the Imperial defense platforms, they simply ceased. Not destroyed. Erased. As if they had never existed at all. Temporal erasure cannons, the Imperial scientists whispered in horror. "They're using temporal erasure cannons." Emperor Kaler watched the tactical display as his border defenses vanished like smoke. "Impossible. No species has that technology." "Humanity does," his advisor said, voice trembling. "They've had it for 100 years. They chose not to use it. Until now." The lead Titan, Ragnarok, broadcast a single message across all Imperial channels. The voice was calm, almost gentle, which made it infinitely more terrifying. "We are the last voice of Earth. You silenced healers. Now you hear the soldiers. Open fire." Kaler screamed. "All ships. Destroy them." The Imperial fleet unleashed everything. Antimatter barrages, singularity missiles, quantum destabilizers, weapons that could shatter moons and poison stars. The Titans sailed through it all like ghosts through rain. "Your logic calculated our extinction. You forgot to factor in our rage," came the next transmission. "You mistook our choice for peace as inability for war. Allow us to correct that error." The battle, if it could be called that, lasted 17 minutes. When it ended, the Imperial fleet was gone. Not scattered. Not retreating. Gone. Their atoms scattered across dimensions, their existence reduced to quantum probability that would never collapse back into reality. But the Titans didn't advance on the Empire's worlds. They stopped at the exact spot where the Nightingale had died. Peace is what we offer. Fire is what you chose, Admiral Chen broadcast to the cowering Empire. We could end you. Every world. Every life. Our ancestors built these ships to do exactly that. But we're not our ancestors. We're the children who chose healing over hurting. She paused, letting the weight settle. You didn't kill soldiers. You killed healers. Now meet what we were trying to forget. The Titans held position for 7 days. Silent. Waiting. A sword held to the Empire's throat, ready to fall but choosing not to. Finally, Emperor Kaler himself appeared on the communication channel. No longer the proud conqueror. Just a frightened being who'd awakened something that should have stayed sleeping. What do you want? Nothing, Chen replied. We want nothing from you. We came to show you what you nearly unleashed. What we choose every day not to be. The Nightingale represented our choice. You destroyed it. So we showed you the alternative. That was a war crime, Kaler protested weakly. We didn't know. That was a war. We didn't start it. But now we end it. The Titans turned as one, beginning their journey home. But Chen had one final message. We'll build another Nightingale. We'll send more healers. We'll continue choosing mercy over might. But know this. The Titans are awake now. They won't sleep again. Every time you see a human medical ship, remember what guards it. Remember what chooses to heal instead of harm. Humanity sleeps, but the Titans don't dream. They remember. The Empire never fired on another medical vessel. Not from fear of the Titans, though that fear ran deep, but from the sudden, terrible understanding of what humanity truly was. A species so powerful they had to choose pacifism because the alternative was too horrible to contemplate. You broke the laws of peace. Earth reminded you of its silence, became a saying across the galaxy. Not a threat. A reminder. The new Nightingale launched a year later. Bigger. Better equipped. Still unarmed. Still painted white with the red cross. But now, when it entered troubled systems, hardened warriors stepped aside. Because they knew what followed in its wake. What chose to let it fly in peace. Admiral Chen retired after the crisis, but her final words to the Galactic Council would echo through history. We buried our swords and became healers not because we were weak, but because we knew how sharp those swords were. You made us draw them once. Pray you never see us draw them twice. Because mercy is not our weakness. It's the hardest choice we make every single day. The day we stop making that choice is the day the galaxy learns why our ancestors built ships that could erase stars. The Nightingale flies because we choose it to. The Titans wake when that choice is taken from us. Remember that. Remember that humanity's greatest victory isn't in the wars we've won, but in the wars we choose not to fight. Today you saw what we buried. Tomorrow we hope you'll help us keep it buried. Because the difference between our healers and our warriors is just one burned medical ship. And the galaxy can't afford to burn another.